Amidst the tank, the Toronto Raptors have gotten an extended look at a ton of players they may not have otherwise, and there are some complicated decisions that need to be made in the offseason regarding who is going to be here for next season and who definitely should not. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody. This is Amateur Sports. It's a YouTube channel dedicated specifically to bringing you Toronto Raptors content in videos like this and also live streams, whether it's watch party or just news coverage in general. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all that Raptors content. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video along the way. What we're going to do is go through the entire roster amidst this 2025 tank by the Raptors. We're going to go through every player on the roster and decide if these players need to be on the team for next season or if they need to be somewhere else next season. And along the way, I'll discuss why I feel some ways about specific players, why I want guys on the team, and maybe why I don't want others on the team. But in order to do that, let's get a different view. Bit of a different look for this because I wanted to provide a little bit more visuals to help along with my thoughts on each player and where they really rank for me. So we're going to go to the trusty tier list to go through the Raptors roster as it currently stands amidst the 2025 tank, to look at the players that are locks to be on the roster for next season for me, guys that the Raptors should really keep for next season, guys that they could keep, like it's fine if they do, but like also wouldn't be that bad if they didn't. There's the players I'm really indifferent about, fine if they stay, fine if they don't, guys that they shouldn't keep, and guys that are no. And we go in no particular order here, just randomized based on the images that I have for this one. We're starting off with Eugene Omoruyi. Look, Canadian player. Loves to support a Canadian player. Would love to support a former Oregon Duck, but has played well with the 905. Certainly a very good G League player. Very low-tier NBA player. He might stick on a roster someday, but I'm just really indifferent about it. If it's the Raptors, if he's here, with the 905 again, great. If he's not, I don't really mind. You don't need to spend much time, unfortunately, on Eugene there. Next up is Jamison Battle, and the shooting that he brings is something that you really should keep to get a look at again for next season. The Raptors will, because Jamison Battle has done such a fantastic job cultivating this crew for himself, and he's earned it every step of the way. Went undrafted, got signed to the Raptors Summer League team, played well enough to earn a spot in the summer camp roster, training camp roster. Played well enough there to earn himself a two-way spot, taking it away from Brandon Carlson, another player. Taking it away from another player. Played so well on the two-way contract, he earned himself a standard NBA deal. Here he is today, Jamison Battle, showing signs of being able to do stuff beyond shooting, to contribute beyond shooting. And if you can do that, that shooting is such a weapon to have for your team. Absolutely would love to get another look at him for next season. Definitely really should keep him around. Ochai Agbaji falls into the same tier here. What a tremendous job Ochai Agbaji has done to improve himself as a shooter, has become more confident as a scorer for the Raptors. The start of the season, if you remember, the Raptors dealing with so many injuries, he was starting tons of games and playing very, very well. Like I said, improving as a shooter. He's been excellent shooting from the corner, and he's a very rare stopper type of defender the Raptors have on the roster. They just don't have a lot of this type of player to work with, and a guy who's bringing good levels of defense and good levels of shooting. Any NBA team can use that, especially the Raptors, who are lacking in both of those categories. Really should be keeping, and he's really making that Siakam trade look a lot better. We used one of the picks that we got from Pascal Siakam to send to the Jazz to get him. He's made that trade look really good. Unfortunately, the first casualty here has to be Chris Boucher. He falls into the shouldn't keep category, and people have asked me, like, well, if they're not going to keep him, they're going to walk into the season. Why would they not trade him at the deadline? They tried to. The Denver Nuggets were interested. The Raptors wanted to trade him there. Ultimately, the Nuggets didn't have any trade that worked for the Raptors. Like, it worked, but it was a bad trade for the Raptors. There was no trade that wasn't bad for the Raptors to take, given some of their contracts that they had. So the Raptors had to keep him. He's clearly not in Darko's plans. I don't think they should use up any salary on him next season, but I do think he's got a home in the NBA somewhere, and another team will be interested. Jared Rhoden's an interesting one. He's played well as a two-way player here, and in fact has signed on a multi-year two-way deal. So he's on a two-way deal again for next season with the Raptors, and he'll fall, could keep. I'm fine with keeping him, for sure. Definitely want to get a look at him in the summer. He's played pretty well amidst the tank, albeit, but he's shooting the ball well, scoring decently well. Let's bring him back, get another look at him, and see if he can compete with the main guys. The Raptors look to be a playoff team for next season. That is absolutely the goal. Why not get another look at Jared Rhoden? You already have him on contract anyway. So, yeah, good keep for sure. Jamal Shead really should keep. What a job Jamal Shead has done to burst out into this fantastic role for the Raptors and lock down this backup point guard position. Like, start of the year was kind of like, well, seeing Jamal Shead in Summer League. He was 45th pick. We knew he had defense. It was just about his ability to contribute on offense. Was that ability there? Did he have any shooting? Well, definitely has surprised us as a 45th pick. Start of the year as like the third choice guard. He's built himself up to be the backup guard for this team, and he's earned it. Like, we knew he was a good defender. We knew that was the case, but really didn't think he'd have really any contribution on offense. Like, we probably have to hide him there. Not the case. Like, he's hitting pull-up threes on occasion. He's hitting catch-and-shoot threes. Like, not super efficiently, but enough to work with and to develop with. And he's still able to put a bit of pressure on the rim. He's still able to play make really well. Like, man, what a find for the Raptors and Jamal Shead. There's a reason that they decided to go with him as a backup guard and have the confidence to trade Davion Mitchell midseason. Major props to Jamal Shead. Definitely would be happy to have him as a backup guard for next season. Orbis Shamshay falls into the same category. Made a lot of strides in the G League with the Raptors, 905 this season, coming off of his 57th overall selection by the Raptors. It was either 57 or 58. They traded back into the draft because they wanted to get him. They got him. You can see why they were fans. Unfortunately, injury this season, ended his season early, delayed his development a little bit, but a lot to like and a lot to want to work with there. Definitely in the really should keep category. Orlando Robinson up next, and man, like, amidst the tank, he's put up some decent numbers. He's filled the box score on occasion. But, from watching Robinson, doesn't look like a good rebounder, doesn't look like a good defender. The stats will back that up. I know defense is tough to evaluate given the tank, but rebounding numbers are, like, it doesn't look good when I watch him. And the stats, like, he is horrific at rebounding. Like, he has a horrible rebounding rate. So I'm personally not a big fan, but as a third choice to have in the arsenal, I can live with that given the lack of depth the Raptors have in this position. So for me, I'm indifferent here because I'm not a big fan, but I'm also okay if the Raptors go, you know what, as a third choice center, let's have a look at him. Let's bring him back for next season. That's also fine with me. My preference is to upgrade on that spot, but I'm okay with it. The center that we really like here is Jakob Poeltl, and I'm going to go as far as to put him as a lock here. When the Raptors have tried to tank this season, their method for tanking is taking Jakob Poeltl out. Like, other guys, yeah, they affect the game here and there. Poeltl, like, if the Raptors take out Poeltl in the fourth quarter, the other team goes on the run. Poeltl has been so tremendous for the Raptors this season, and if they want to be a playoff team next season, and they do, you need to have that type of player, the rim-protecting center to anchor your defense, the screen setter on offense, the playmaker on offense, the interior finisher on offense, efficient. Like, this is the guy you need to have on your team. And if you don't have Poeltl, you need to directly replace him. So for me, that's a lock to keep with your team, especially given his salary, making around $20 million, like max $20 million. Very happy to have Poeltl here. You got to keep him if you want to be a playoff team next year, for sure. I clearly, like, again, like, the Raptors were, what were they, 4-28 without him last year, okay? This year, when they want to lose, they sub him out. Very clearly, very important player for the team. A lock to me. Next up, Colin Castleton. Sorry, man, but, we signed him because we're tanking and we just wanted a bit more depth in that position, but I haven't seen really anything from Colin Castleton to me that makes you want to bring him back next year. Sorry, I don't see the vision there. Garrett Temple, I'm not in the camp of people that, like, love having Garrett Temple here. Granted, I don't see and feel the presence that he brings, the veteran presence, the locker room presence. I'm okay if he's here because of that. The players really seem to like him. The coaches really seem to like him. He really seems to like it here. But I'm also okay if he retires or if he goes somewhere else. and we have the roster spot available for a younger player. I'm okay with that, again, but I'm okay if he stays. So I'm indifferent. Jacoby Walter, for sure, in the really should keep category. Was a big fan of him going into the draft. Was so happy he fell to 19 for the Toronto Raptors. Some of the stats don't look great for Jacoby Walter, I'll say. But I think from watching him, there's good signs there. Good signs of basketball IQ, defense growing, scoring and shooting growing. And, as a lottery pick, you're really going to want to have another look at him next season. So, keen on getting another look at Jacoby Walter next season. Really looking forward to seeing his offseason development. RJ Barrett's a complicated one because I've said on this channel a bunch the last couple of weeks that see what's out there for RJ Barrett through a trade. But I'm also okay to keep him if there's no good trade out there. Like, you shouldn't be desperate to trade him, but see what's out there. So for me, Barrett, you could keep him. I think it's a bit clunky, the fit with Quickly, Barrett, Barnes, Ingram, Pirtle. Just not enough defense, not really enough floor spacing in that 5. But I'm okay to have a look to see what it looks like, to confirm that or to showcase that I'm wrong about that. I really like RJ Barrett as a player. I'm just not sure about the fit, but you could keep him, and I'd be happy. I'd be really happy to see him again with the Raptors. But if there's a good trade out there, I'm also okay with that. And for Quickly, another tough one. I feel less severely about Quickly as I do for Barrett, like through a trade. I think Quickly's fantastic, and I think he's showcasing when he's healthy, because he's been healthy for a while now, and he's playing a lot better. That's a good point guard. Is it like the perfect one? No. I'm going to put him could keep because, again, I'm in the camp where, I am not, looking to trade Quickly, really, but, if an offer comes in, I'm not, clenching down to keep that. I like Quickly. I'd like to see him again with the Raptors. I'm happy he's a starting point guard, very likely for next season, but I'm not 100% bought in and sold. So I'm like, yeah, could keep, but I could easily put him really should keep tier. I could put him with Jared Roden level, where it's if he leaves, whatever. Maybe there should be a tier in between here, but I'll leave him here. But he probably falls in between these two. Really should keep and could keep. I think Barrett falls in the middle as well, but we'll leave it as is. Up next is Scotty Barnes, the easiest one. That is a centerpiece for this team that they are building around, and I think he will look a lot better next season next to a guy that's taking off and alleviating a lot of the offensive load in Brandon Ingram. Those are the guys you're building around. This is your centerpiece. This is your primary scorer, and this is your foundational center piece to go with your centerpiece. You need that level of defense and that anchor to allow these guys to be successful as well, for the team to be successful. Easy locks for those two. Jonathan Mobo really should keep. I've liked his strides defensively this season. Wondering if his best position on defense is that help defense 4 or as a 5. Really like him as a 4, hounding guys in the perimeter. But if you're going to play as a perimeter guy, you still need an anchor defensively, so you still need the 5 next to him. And if you're going to do that, Mobo's got to be able to spread his game out on offense a bit more. He's got to get a better touch on offense, first of all, but also continue to work on his 3-point game for next season to be a bit more of a lock for the rotation. But I like him. Definitely want to see him next year. Nice pick at 31st overall from the Raptors. Good draft class, really. Grady Dick's up next. Definitely in the really should keep tier. That level of shooting you just need to have with this team to give these guys space to play. Projected lineup for next season, he's coming off the bench, adding some scoring punch, adding some shooting. I'm really excited to see him in that role. Don't even mind him. Look, if you do move Barrett, if Grady is still in the starting 5, we'll see. But as of right now, really happy to see him in that role as well. Definitely in the really should keep tier. AJ Lawson, two-way guy. Yeah, could keep. I think he's going to be in the category of I really want to see him in training camp. I really want to see him in the summer, see how he looks. His shooting has been great amidst the tank, albeit in tanking games, but Canadian guy likes it here, has some scoring pop. If that shooting is consistent, that's a good player to have with your team. Alleviate some pressure off the bench. We'll see if he can crack the roster for next season. But yeah, definitely in the could keep tier.